Married at First Sight Australia, season 13, episode 26. Yo, it's feedback week, right? So in this episode, the couple swap partners and they get some outside feedback and perspective. Oh, and you know those screenshots that Juliet had of Beck saying bad things about David and Alissa? Yeah, they get exposed, baby, and it's crazy. Let's talk about it.
Married at First Sight Australia, Kylie Minogue, Hugh Jackman, Iggy Azalea. We got singles whose dating life's been a failure. Let's meet them. We got Rachel, we got Steven, we got Alissa, David, Julia. We got Chris and Grace and Juliet. Another Chris and Rachel, Gia. We got Becca, Rebecca, Philip and Stella, Brooke, Mela, Luke, Joel. Who else do we got? Steve. Danny and Scott. The drama's a lot, but there's love to be found. Stephanie Tyson, we holding it down. Bounce. This the recap. Grab a drink, get a savory or a sweet snack, and sit back as we unpack what happened, like back to back. Let's go, bro.
Alright, so we start off with Gia and Scott. And yo, we got a little trouble in paradise, man. After last night's commitment ceremony with Juliet dipping and the screenshots being brought up, it was all a little bit too much for Gia, and she left early. Scott went after her, he found her at the apartment, all emotional, and apparently she was feeling, a little vulnerable. And she straight up told him that she was in love with him. Yeah, she didn't feel it, man. She didn't back. She professed her undying love for the man. And Scott, he kind of fumbled the bag a little bit. He didn't say I love you back, you know what I'm saying? And we're seeing the aftermath of that. Gia's not feeling too secure in their relationship. She's like, yo, big man, if you're not in love with me, just say that. Just say I do not love you. And Scott's like, it's not like I don't love you. It's just complicated. Yo, I kind of get it, because for Gia, it was probably like a short thing, right? Like, of course he loves me, okay? We've spoken about moving in together, about him becoming my little girl's stepdad. He said I'm his soulmate in front of everybody at the dinner party. So I can see how it's a little confusing for her. But for Scott, it's just like the timing's off, okay? Because when Gia walked out at the commitment ceremony, he had no idea what was going on. I mean, for all he knew, she'd packed her bags and joined Juliet on some Thelma and Louise tip, right? And it's not the first time she's walked off and left him feeling uncertain, about where they stand and whatnot. And now the experiment is close to wrapping up. It's kind of playing in his mind, making him doubt things. We check in on Stella and Philip, and they seem to have bounced back, man, back to their usual lovey-dovey selves. Stella's owning the fact that she's low-key been a dramatic overthinker. She even has it written on her t-shirt. We check in on Steve-O and Rach, and they are chilling, man, getting their coffee on, and they're talking about the whole drama with Juliet, Gia, and Beck. Speaking of Beck, we check in on her and Danny, and of course they're talking about the screenshots. Beck's like, the texts are irrelevant. They're irrelevant. The problem is Gia, because early on in the experiment, Beck was expressing her frustration in a group chat, saying how she felt, and now Gia's taking those messages and, is using them against her. Now listen, man, I get it. If you were to make everyone's private conversations public, conversations you've had with your partner, with your best friend, with your parents, a lot of us would low-key get canceled. We would. When you take it out of context, there's people out there whose feelings would get hurt. People who'd be like, yo, I can't believe you said this about me. So it was a crappy thing for Gia to do. It was bad form. But my question is, what made Beck think a group chat with Gia in it was a safe space? What made her think it was a safe space for her to say mean things about other people in the experiment? It's not like Gia and her are besties, right? And we know Gia loves a bit of drama. We know that. What made you confide in Gia of all people? Like, I'd argue out of all the women in the experiment, Gia is the last person I would go to and go, hey, I think Alissa sucks. If those messages were sent to Rebecca, Julia, Stella, even Rach, I don't think they would have seen the light of day, okay? We check in on Alissa and David. And yo, before Juliet left, she'd forwarded all the screenshots, all the receipts to Alissa. So now we can see just how bad the messages are. Alissa's in bed with David and she's reading them out. So in one of them, Beck goes, Alissa is going effing down. She goes, Alissa is a rat bitch with a rat husband. She goes, I'm going to go so hard on Alissa and her fake relationship. She goes, Alissa has her head so far up her bib, she doesn't realize how much of an a-hole she is. She keeps going, man, reading out these messages and just all of them dissing Alissa, dissing her relationship, her character, her personality. It's rough. Like, there's no way Beck will be able to talk her way out of this one, man. It's one of those burnt bridge type moments. All right, so feedback week. We are starting off with the couple swap, baby. Sam gets paired up with Philip. They're like, hey, what's good, man? They chop it up, and Sam raises up the concern that he has with Chris. So apparently during the commitment ceremony, the experts asked them, like, yo, have you thought about life in the real world, like outside the experiment? What does that look like? And Chris was like, yeah, for sure. We'd probably get like a place in Sydney. I'd be at the farm holding it down. Then we'd go back and forth for a bit. Sam's like, yo, that low-key blindsided me because we never spoke about that. And I feel like maybe I haven't been getting heard in this relationship because I just want to make Chris happy. So I'm tiptoeing around him. Philip's like, bro, you can't keep your thoughts and feelings hidden. Like, you gotta speak up, man. It's all about communication and being a team. Scott gets matched up with Stella. And it's a dope match, man. It's a dope match because Stella is able to hit him with truth in a way that doesn't feel judgy. She basically goes, listen, you give Gia safety and stability. You bring her peace, but that's not who she is. She craves chaos and drama because that's what her nervous system recognizes. It's what feels familiar to her. It's a pattern, and it's a hard one to break. She's like, I know, because that was me. Hey, yo, shout out to Stella, man. I was watching this going, preach, Stella, preach. Because I believe it applies to everything across the board. When you've been in the dark for ages, you kind of get used to it. Your eyes adapt. You change how you move. And if someone plucks you from that and throws you into the brightest room ever, it's too much to handle. You feel me? When you go from starvation, it's not like, hey, hit up a buffet and go crazy. It's like, nah, ease yourself into it with liquids and soups and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? We've all heard stories of people who go from being super broke to winning the lottery and they end up being super broke again. I say all that to say, if you're in a bad or toxic place and you manage to get out of it, take some time out to work on yourself, okay? If all your exes were garbage people, take a minute to reflect and grow before bringing that baggage into your new relationship and sabotaging things with your new awesome partner. And yo, that's not to say Scott's perfect and Gia sucks, because there's two sides to every story, right? Always. But hopefully this conversation helps Scott see things a little different. It's a push in the right direction, you feel me? Gia's been matched up with Danny, which, to be fair, is a great matchup because they can hash out all that stuff, all that he say, she say stuff. Even if it's off camera, they can hash it out. She can look him in the eye and say, bro, come on. You did say that stuff. And he can be like, look, I don't remember saying it, but maybe I was too sloshed at the time, okay? No hard feelings. And beyond that, they can dissect each other's relationships. Gia said from day one that she doesn't think Danny's that into Beck. And you know what? I agree. I think he's stringing her along and it won't end well for Beck. So having Gia confront him about it might help him make the right decision and call it quits before she, gets too invested. Rip the Band-Aid off. And Danny can help Gia see that Scott is obsessed with her. And self-sabotaging and pushing him away is not the move. It's not the move. Great matchup. Unfortunately, Gia's locked herself in the bathroom, okay? She's telling the producers, the camera crew to go F themselves. Because she's not doing the challenge. She's not doing it. She's not meeting up with anybody. She doesn't want to hear what anybody thinks about her relationship. She's not doing it. Danny's at the pub waiting on Gia. Like, hey, I'm looking forward to kicking it with someone else. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who it is. I'm open to listen, whoever, But of course, Gia doesn't show up. David gets a juicy matchup. He gets matched up with Beck. Now, Alissa did tell David, like, yo, if you get matched up with Beck, don't bring up the text. Don't confront her on it, because that's something I want to do. But Beck dives right into it. She brings it up, and she's like trying to downplay the whole thing. Like, yo, those texts were sent ages ago, and they're not even that deep. I got love and respect for you and Alissa. So I wasn't like straight up trashing y'all or nothing. Everybody's just making it seem deeper than it actually is. David's kind of backed into a corner, right? And he's like, yo, I've seen the texts, okay? I've seen the screenshots. I've read those texts. What you talking about? They are horrible. Like, why would you say all of that? Ooh, busted. Yo, Beck breaks down crying. And yo, hopefully she's learned a valuable lesson. Don't talk about people behind their backs. And if you are gonna do it, don't do it in a text, okay? Especially in a text to a person you barely know who's giving you no reason to trust them like that. Hey, yo, that was the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give the video a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'll be back with the next joint. Till then, you take care of yourself, fam, because I love you.